Good evening, guys. How you doing? Tonight, I'm here at the Prince George's County Community College. I am doing some work here, finishing up a contract that I have here, and I wanted to shoot, even though I'm not, in my studio, if you will, and wanted to go ahead and put something out there. Been thinking about this whole conversation since I met with the young lady that's helping me with my book, and she asked a very good question. She said, what's the best way to get started in terms of preparing for your future or your retirement? And I said, well, it's a great question, and I likened the question. I like my answer or my response was really more kind of in line with when I was a real estate investor. Before I bought any property, my first calculations had to do with what my end game was. What strategy was I going to use? What strategy was I going to use to get out of this deal, to sell it, or to buy it and hold it, or to wholesale it, or rehab it, and kind of sell it on the retail market. All of those things got discussed and figured out long before I ever made the purchase. So before I signed on the dotted lines regarding, acquiring that transaction or acquiring that property, I already knew, based on the values, based on what was selling in that area, based on how it fit in my portfolio, whether I was going to buy and hold, whether I was going to wholesale it, whether I was going to rehab it and put it out there for someone to buy retail. Okay, once those calculations, what is the relationship between real estate and the end game and your working life in the end game? So the way I want to correlate that is this. Give me a second, okay?
Let's go.
Okay, you go over there with Henry.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you over. So the way I liken it to the end game of your personal life is this. Think about when it is you want to retire, whether that's the traditional identified number of 65, or whether you want to retire at 55, or whether you want to retire at 45. Based on your income, based on what you want to, how much money you want to have at the end of when you're ready to retire, that's going to determine what you do from month to month in terms of an investment. And so just like it is important as an investor who gets in every real estate transaction to make a profit or to get some sort of a return, the same is the case with your finances. So if you start working and you decide you don't want to work, you want to work until you're 55, and after that, the rule of thumb is you want to have at least 30 years of monthly expenses available to you that you don't have to ever work or work for 30 years. So if that's the case, then, and your number is, let's say, $5,000 a month, then there's a way to calculate that so you know exactly how much you need to invest every month of every year for those 20 or 30 years until you retire. And that's the whole purpose of understanding what your game is. So at Everyday Wealth Systems, that's what we're going to help you do. We're going to help you come up with the formula for when you're going to retire or when you want to no longer work, and help you put aside money so that when you do retire, you can have the money you need built in your expenses or in your budget, all things that could potentially, be an expense in your retirement, and you got it covered. It's a very, very simple formula. This is kind of an ad hoc recording. One of my guys came in and interrupted, but I wanted to just get out and say something and put something out there that's been on my mind. So we'll talk about it a little further in the other upcoming broadcasts. Have a great night, and remember, there's life after debt. And if you have a predictable income, I can help you move your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Have a great night. Peace.